Would you like to see a magic trick?
Yeah.
Tell me your name.
Taylor.
I was really starting to like you, Finney. I almost let you go.
Don't hang up.
Who are you?
You know all our names?
It doesn't work. Hang it up. I made you some breakfast.
What'd you put in that?
Salt and pepper.
Have you seen this boy?
My brother, he was taken.
By a man with black balloons.
I had a dream about it. Please let the dreams be real.
You're getting out of here.
How?
There's a combination lock.
What's the combination?
You don't have much time. You're gonna use a weapon.
You are special, Finney.
Please hurry.
Ooh, the creepiest damn thing.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my movie review for The Black Phone. So this movie doesn't have too long of a troublesome past, but it was delayed one time. I think it was supposed to release in like June. No, not June. It released in June. I think it was supposed to release in like February. And then it got delayed all the way until June, which in the end was a much better choice. It got more attention being in the summer and allowed more people to go watch this movie. So what is The Black Phone? The Black Phone is a story of this kidnapper named the Grabber, who kidnaps children. And the story focuses around one of the children he kidnaps. His name is Finney. And he ends up in the Grabber's basement. And there is a black phone, as the title suggests, in this basement that is not connected to anything. And it starts ringing with the past deceased victims of the Grabber. And that's about as far as I'll go in talking about it. Now, that sounds like an incredibly dark premise for a horror movie, and yes, it is. But this movie is not without its share of hope. And that's how I was watching the Dead Meat interview with James and the director and people who did the mask, which is a fantastic mask, I want to say, and with Ethan Hawke in it as well. And hope is a very good way to describe this movie. There's such a distressing lack of it in the movie, but as well, certain characters have such a hopeful outlook upon such a bleak situation that it is kind of empowering to watch. And the acting in this movie is incredible. Ethan Hawke and what he's able to portray just through his eyes for most of the runtime at that is very impressive. Because The Mask as said in the Dead Meat interview podcast type setting, it is several different masks. There's a full one, which they have a seam in it to make it look like it's two separate parts, but it is not. And it has a top with horns, a bottom that has a smile, a frown, and nothing on it, which to me is very cool and very creative way to have a mask that symbolizes this psychopath, but at the same time embodying what I feel this character might have, having possibly multiple personalities. And as well with the concept that he kidnaps children, and some aspects of the movie involve whipping children with a belt, as there are multiple scenes. Well, one scene in particular, which is very well acted, that it does depict this situation happening. But as well as that, the grabber has some sequences where he's waiting for Finney to do something in which he would respond with such an action as whipping with a belt. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. And to me, I feel like as well, and come back to this after you watch the movie, maybe, if you watch the movie, you might get more context and might be able to understand more, but I feel like the grabber may have been abused as a child himself. A lot of what the grabber does in this movie, I think you could put down to him having a traumatic past. And they don't go too in depth into that, but I wanted to say that because, you know, movies a lot of the time can be left super ambiguous. And I would love to see another film, maybe with the grabber as a younger kid, or before this in some capacity, because it's a very compelling character. And I was very interested to see Ethan Hawke in such a role again. He does a fantastic job with what little is given. And a movie like this, the scenery isn't really the the stealing grace of the movie. The scenery is more so bleak a lot of the time. It's rundown buildings, or it's, a basement with stone walls all around, which is important to get across the story, but the stealer in this movie would be the acting. The child actors, the scene in which I'm talking about with the belt, not with the grabber, but it was the other scene, has two actors in it. I don't know their names, but one of them's a child actor, and some lines are thrown around which were not scripted, which I found out. And the child actor, she's crying profusely and has this shift when saying a line that comes out of anger, and she was never told to do that. And that's why this movie is so impressive. You get movies like The Black Phone that impress you and astound you with what an actor is capable of doing at such a young age. Another movie like Good Boys, for example, is another very good example of how impressive an actor can be in a movie when they're kids. Comedy is not easy, just like horror is not easy. A lot of acting is not easy to do. And a lot of times, actors can sometimes get by due to editing. And actors can get by due to, with the accompaniment, along with all the other aspects of this film, or of a film that helps create it. Actors can be good working alongside everyone else who creates the movie, but it's hard to have an actor steal the show. A good example is Skarsgård, I believe, from It Chapter 1 and 2, who plays Pennywise, is very impressive and steals the show in almost every scene he's in. It's very sad that the second one focused less on him and more on the kids, because he was not in it as much. But, which also, if you did not know, if you're a fan of Nancy Drew, the video game series, Lonnie Manila did a voice in It Chapter 2, did a voice of the big, saggy lady who runs at the older version of the female lead in that film. I don't remember. But she does the voice of that creature and is amazing. But my point being, this movie has actors that steal the show in their scenes. There's one kid actor in this that has a little bit of a rough scene. Earlier on in the bathroom, he's talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And he's like, man, that movie is just so good. Or something like that. And you can tell it comes off a little bit rough in that scene. But I feel like that actor later in the movie, when he has another set of lines, does a fantastic job at it. And again, that's the exact point. Kid actors don't always hit the beat 100%. Another great example of a kid actor outstandingly performing is in Better Watch Out. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. But if you have not watched Better Watch Out, I highly, highly recommend to not watch trailers for that movie and go watch it for yourself. One of the kid actors in that movie has such a fantastic performance. I'd highly recommend going and watching it. But either way, as I'm going back to Black Phone now, having Ethan Hawke do a stellar performance, having the main kid who plays Finney do a absolutely stellar performance. It's easy to say these are actors, right? You have a script, you take the script, you take it from script to set, add music, editing, and finalize it. It's not easy to have a kid actor play in a main role in such a dire situation and be able to portray that situation in such an effective and well-acted way. There are plenty of examples out there, if you look at movies, where it's not the greatest. Or some movies like Dinosaur Cove more recently that I've reviewed, which is not bad. Excuse me. It's not terrible. The editing is more so in that movie is what drags it down, is because I think they didn't have a high budget, and what they had to do is that they had to dub over a lot of their scenes that were outside, and no fault to the actual kid actor who played the main role, he did a great job, but because he had to dub over it, the lines did not fully match his mouth movement and the tone of the scene, which is hard to do. This movie as well, I had a conversation with somebody about this film and how happy this film is or is not. I've talked to some other people about it as well, and this film has a happy tone to it. And there's two ways you can look at this film. You can look at this film as increasingly sad and depressing, and you can look at it as happy. And it's just depending on how you look at it. You got someone kidnapping kids, but you have these kids fighting back. You have a sister always looking for her brother and never giving up. You have different ways to look at this film. And I like to look at this film as it being happy. I like to look at it as being a hope story and a overcoming story and kind of a coming of age story in a sense. A more forced coming of age story, you know. Get kidnapped and be forced to fight for your life. That is still a coming of age story, even if it's a forced one. And this movie is not your stereotypical horror movie by any means. It's not full of jump scares. There are a couple, and they're very well crafted. There's only one that has a slow build up to it. But one of the jump scares, literally the camera just pans a tiny bit, and of course with accompanying sound, but it comes out of nowhere. A lot of jump scares in movies, how do I describe it, are like... They have those like pan tilt ones where, like, one of the most common ones is the camera pans to one thing, the creature or the killer is not there, and it pans back or goes to the other side, and then pans back and they're not there, pans away and then pans back, and then the killer's there, and jump scare, and killer slashes or creature attacks or something like that. And it's so easy in horror movies to get into that rhythm, to get into these jump scares and not have a slow build up. And yeah, a lot of people, if you are looking for a jump scare heavy, scary thrill ride, this is not the movie for you. But this movie never was trying to be that. I don't think the trailers portray it as that, and I don't think The Black Phone was ever going to be a thrill ride horror film. It's a slow building, suspenseful thriller about a kid trying to overcome a tormentor. And I really question what the grabber would be willing to do, and some grabber's comments throughout the film, because the grabber at one point says he'll let the kid go if he was just honest to him. And I honestly want to know if the grabber would have actually let the kid go. Or, like, that he didn't want to do it. There's a line in the movie where he's crying because he's just like, I wanted to see you. And to me, that comes from a desperate place in the grabber, part of the grabber that doesn't want to see this kid get hurt, but knows what might be coming. Or knows what is going to be coming. Which also speaks... Sorry. That's probably getting my laptop in there. But that makes me think that the grabber might have a multiple personality disorder. So, this is available on streaming and renting now. And I highly recommend that you give it a shot. I will be buying it in the future. I just wish that they released this in 4K physically, too, because I love getting 4K physically. But that's okay. But just don't expect it to be a thrill ride. Just come in with an expectation to have some, I'd say, long, drawn-out sequences. But well acted, well performed, and incredibly done. And if anyone from the production is watching this at all, I doubt I'll get any of the big actors watching this, or the director, or anyone like that from the film. But thank you for creating such a great movie. And to the director, such a well-directed thrill ride that has a very good glimmer of hope in it. And with recent years, too, with this movie coming out, originally was going to come out at the beginning of this year, I think, in February, January, February, or March. And have it being a movie that would be one of the few that was coming out of the pandemic periods. Hope is something that can be really scary. Hope is dangerous, because if you put everything in hope and you get nothing back, you're done for. But at the same time, hope is so empowering. So, this movie, I think, embodies that extremely well. How dangerous hope can be, but sometimes sticking it through to the end, hope can be amazing. And sometimes hope can change your life. and hope that you will one day maybe see a loved one again when tragedy strikes. Again, can be dangerous, can make you think things you don't want to think, but at the same time, it can empower you to be willing to go the extra length to help others, well, to help those you love. More to help those you love, I'd say, at least in the context of this movie. I recommend, if you haven't seen the movie, watch it and come back and try to see if you can get what I'm piecing together there. I feel like that really, what I just described, really embodies this movie. And I'm going to be honest with everybody. I've seen this movie 4 times already, and it's coming soon, at the time of this recording, to a local theater that I like to go to, and I think I'll take a trip, because I'm not staying close to where the local theater is, but I think I'll take a trip down and watch it at the local theater, because I really do like this movie, and I want to experience it as many times as I can, and that is how creative and enjoyable but frightening this movie can be. And yeah. Also, slight note, I'm hoping to have, speaking of horror movies, I'm hoping to do a Nope review in the future. That's recently come out in theaters too. I don't know what time I'm going to be releasing this video, but if you like horror, I recommend checking that out. Hopefully a review for that coming in the future. But anyway, thank you guys for coming to my channel. Thank you for checking out this movie review. If you like this, I have a playlist full of, like, oh boy, a lot of other movie reviews, I feel like, at this point. I'll check to see. I do plenty of different types of movie reviews. I do horror, I do comedy, I do, lots of different types of movie reviews. Okay. Exactly 50 other movie reviews. Oh gosh. There we go. Exactly 50 other movie reviews from movies like The Lego Movie 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, all the way to things like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Wonder Woman 1984, Ma, Resident Evil, Nobody, Willy's Wonderland, 22 Jump Street, Spiral, Luca, Scream, 2022, The Wolf and the Lion, fantastic movie, I want to add, Uncharted, Turning Red, X, Morbius, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Dinosaur Cove, so many. Take a look at the playlist, and let me know as well in the comments if you have movies you would like to see me review, see my opinion on. I'm always up for suggestions, just don't expect it to happen necessarily, because I've watched a lot of movies and I would love to talk about each and every one of them, but I sometimes just don't have enough to say. Like, I have movie reviews recorded for things like Escape Room, which I recorded and never released. And, I would love to do one for Escape Room Tournament of Champions, because I actually really like that movie, but, and of course, keep an eye out, because, if you've seen the Paddington 2 movie review that I have done, that was in response to a donation made at a charity live stream that I did, and I did that, so keep your eye out, because sometimes, if you're over on my Twitch and you become a subscriber over there, you might be able to choose a movie review for YouTube, or if I do more charity stuff, you might be able to donate for a movie review in the future. So just keep your eye out in case that is something that interests you. I recommend checking some things out, like The Lion King, Us. I really like Us. Speaking of Nope, that's really good. I don't know if I don't think I did a Get Out movie review. but I have an us one. So, but anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.
I'll be home in the morning.
Where you going?
I'm staying over at Susie's tonight.
What's new? The flyer.
The papers call him the grabber.
I wish you wouldn't call him that.
You don't actually believe that story, do you? Because he can't hear you, and he doesn't really take kids that safe.
Oh, you goof. Well, isn't that just peachy keen?
You need some help?
You see that?
Yeah.
Would you hand me my hat? Yes, sir. I am a part-time magician.
Are those black balloons in there?
Would you like to see a magic trick?
I have an announcement to make. One of our students, Finney Blake, was abducted.
What if I could help the police find Finney?
Doesn't work. Not since I was a kid.
I'll scream. I'll scratch your face.
This face?
Daddy, I had a dream about it.
What happened in your dream?
He was taken.
By a man with black balloons.
Yes.
We never released those details.
Hello?
Don't hang up.
Who are you?
You know all our names. You're getting out of here.
Please, please let the dreams be real.
See the wall in front of you? I tore a long cable loose from down there.
There's a combination lock on the inside of the storm door.
What's the combination?
I carved it in the wall.
The tree, the door, the gate. I'd never seen it before except in my dream.
You don't have much time.
You're gonna use a weapon. You raise the phone, step back, and swing!
Look what you made me do.
Please hurry.
You remember what I told you?
There's someday I have to stand up for myself.